Love that sound. All right, we spoke about delegation and bringing people up. Your job as a leader is to make yourself obsolete, to train somebody who can do what you do so you can move up and do bigger and greater things. Okay? Is it clear? Is that okay with you? Yeah? You're not feeling scared? You're not feeling insecure? You're not feeling troubled by that idea? Okay, that's an exciting task, right? If you were to work for a big corporation and your upper level management, if you don't have an active succession plan, you know what an active succession plan is? If somebody asks you, who will be your successor? And you say, successor? Me? I'm not replaceable, you know? No one can do what I do. They will say, excuse me, our company has been here for the last 350 years, you know? And believe me, there will be people who will do what you do. So, in big corporations, if you don't have an active succession plan, you won't get your bonus. They will dock pay part of your bonus. You know what dock pay means? It means they won't pay it out to you. They'll put it in an escrow, in another account. And they say, once you can bring us 3 people who are qualified and trained by you to be your successors, we'll give you your bonus. Because until then, you don't deserve your bonus. Why? Because you haven't been doing the job that you're supposed to be doing. Your job here, as leaders of ISKCON India, is to train people to do what you do. And then you become sadhus. Do you like that? Doesn't sound very convincing. Do you like that? Okay, that sounds better, right? Who wants to be a manager their whole life? Nobody. What happened? Okay, you got it. You understood. All right, so delegation. Then outsource. What are things that you should outsource? Give me some ideas. I can't hear you without a microphone. What should you outsource?
We outsource people, those who can do repetitive tasks like workers, like cleaners.
Like for instance, the guy who's making noise out there.
Like that
doesn't have to be a brahmachari, right? That can be outsourced. You can hire a contractor, you can hire people for that. What else can you outsource? Come on, work with me, people. Accounts? Which level of accounting? Like data entry, that kind of stuff. Huh? But CFO and the guy who holds the key to the safe, that's going to be your trusted people. Don't just give that out to anybody. Mike.
Cleaning, restaurant.
Cleaning, restaurant, repairing cars.
Maybe some technical or mechanical
Maintenance.
work where some technical or mechanical work.
Technical, mechanical work.
Especially IT, internet, technological maintenance.
IT, technology, designers. But content development, you have to do. Okay? All the rest, you can outsource. There are people in your congregation. Some will do it for seva. Some need a little help. Some need to be paid. Keep your people busy with preaching. Outsource. Then simplify your own life. Right now, all of our lives are a little too distracted, a little too overextended. Could you simplify your life? Is it possible? Are you working on that? To simplify your life? Or you want to make your life more complicated and more sophisticated and more elaborate? No. Bhakti is simplicity. So simplify your life and save yourself some grief. Okay, good. We're moving on here. Now, some people are still missing. There's a big problem in the corporate world. We're in Pune here. Did you know that people can get 50,000 rupees and free food in the cafeteria just for working in a call center? Huh? Sounds pretty exciting, right? But there are other places who pay 55,000 rupees. And then what happens? People jump company. They go to another company. What is it called? Huh? Switching jobs, yes. And it's also called brain drain. Because you train people and they know something about your company. They may even know some secrets. Maybe not on the call center level, but on the mid-level management level. And because somewhere else they get a little more money, a little more incentive, so they switch jobs. They go to another company. So, if you want to prevent people from leaving, you have to actually give them an opportunity. Either you create opportunities or you create opportunists. You know what an opportunist is? Is a person who creates his own opportunity. Either you create opportunity for the people in your team, or they will go out and create their own opportunity. Okay? One devotee was saying that his father was vice president of Nestle, India. It's a pretty big job, and it's the biggest food corporation in the world. When they recruit upper level management, we're just talking about Nestle, the biggest food giant. When they recruit upper level management and it gets serious, the talks get serious, they have one question to the candidate. You want to know what that question is? What would it take for us to retain you for life? You want to retire with us? Yes. What would it take you? What you need so you will feel secure, so you can give your whole life to our company? Now his dad retired with Nestle. He did, because they gave him what he wanted, and he worked for them his whole life. Do you want committed people who work with you for their whole life? Do you want people to work with you for their whole life? Then be nice. You know what being nice means? No, you can keep it open. We have more people coming. Being nice doesn't mean you just wear a nice shirt and you talk nice. But being nice means you have to identify people's needs, interests, concerns, and expectations. Hey, you're a good team. Did you do this in previous, or you knew it before? Huh? And these have to be addressed, and these have to be clarified. If you don't address people's needs, interests, concerns, and expectations, what happens? They will switch company. They will get disgruntled. They will feel, I've been exploited, I've been abused, I've been working here for so long, and what did I get for it? So make sure that this is clarified. No ambiguity. Make it very clear. And that's from top to bottom. That's from entry level, from the people who just come for a Sunday feast or for a weekend seminar, or the people who want to move into the Brahmacharya ashram. Had we have problem with this, that the needs, interests, expectations, and concerns were not addressed? Have you had problems with this?
Yes.
Do we want to save ourselves problems? Okay, so bend your mind around this and make sure that these issues are addressed and communicated. And honestly speaking, people are not really looking for elaborate and lavish and all that, but what they're really looking for is for sincerity. They want sincerity because people are averse to hypocrisy. They want to see that you are up for it, you're good for it, and you're doing the same thing that you want them to do. Because if I want you to do something that I'm not doing myself, again, I'm a hypocrite. So they want to see integrity. Right now, I've been around so many times, I had so many offers, I have so many things that I could be doing, but what am I doing? I'm trying to collaborate and serve people who I feel have integrity. Like Damodar, he's an old friend, but I feel he's got integrity. That's why I like to work with him. And there are many others. Have you had that scenario? So, and it's not a rhetorical scenario, it's a real life scenario. So, you have to learn how to take care of your people. You have to be like Nanda Baba. You have to be like Shivananda Sena. Okay, write down Nanda Baba and Shivananda Sena. Okay? These are your role models. Nanda Baba took care. He took care of Braj. Everybody felt protected. Everybody felt they had an opportunity. And people were happy to cooperate. He was not the oldest of the brothers, but he was vibrant. He had integrity. Shivananda Sena, he took the whole group down to Puri, and he looked after them. He made sure people had a place to stay. They had prasadam. He took care of the toll fees. He even took care of a dog. He was such a magnanimous person. These are our role models. So choose your role models wisely. You can write that down. Choose your role models wisely. Now, there's a lot of good stuff in your student handbook, but I don't want you to look at it. It's a bonus track. That's what we want you to get into on your own time. There's also one very important aspect that I want to address, and that is the lifestyle of a leader. People don't listen very well, but they watch very closely. They observe you very closely. If they can see that we are not consistent with our own theology, we're not consistent with our own laws, they will call us very ineffective and they will call us hypocrites. Like, for instance, the example I gave you with Guru Tattva. Our theology, our books say one thing, our legislation says another thing, and we're doing a third thing. It's not consistent, right? It's like those trucks or buses who drive like this. Have you seen buses like that? Who are driving sideways because they were in an accident, you know? It's kind of scary, right? So we have to align ourselves with our theology, with our laws, and our practice. This has to be aligned. Otherwise, we're not very effective. We're inconsistent with our own tradition. And that means we have to take a regular look at ourselves. What is my lifestyle? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was very strict with his disciples, especially the leaders. And he made sure that they were actually up for the task. So, are you healthy? Are you physically, mentally, psychologically sound? Otherwise, you're not a leader. Because people will take one look at you and they will decide, I don't want to end up like this guy. Have you seen people like that? That you decided, I don't want to end up like this guy? Yeah. So then, take care of yourself. Now, I know that may be a little bit music of the future because you feel like, hey, I'm a brahmachari, I'm just rolling with the punches, I'm in boot camp here, I just do what I'm told. But after 5 or 7 years, all of a sudden you're the leader. You have your own project. It's you who makes the tune. It's you who chooses when and what kind of prasadam gets served. It's you who chooses when and how long people go out and serve. Find a model that's sustainable, because if it's not sustainable, it won't sustain. And people will go somewhere else because there are options. So live a healthy life in Krishna consciousness. There is a lifestyle worksheet. I believe it's page 22. Or which one is it? 22 is addressing the organizational skills. That's homework. That's what you need to read. These are things that a Sankirtan leader needs to know. But the lifestyle is 32. Yes. So that's your homework also. How good am I doing in these areas? Because, like it or not, I got news for you, sadhus. You're the role model for the people in your congregation. That's the good news, and that's the scary news. Whatever you do, people will copy it. Like it or don't like it, it's going to happen. Okay? So that means we have to really be in touch with ourselves, the way we act, the way we speak, the way we do things, because there's people watching and they're going to do the same thing because they think being Krishna conscious means what this guy is doing. So do yourself a favor and have a bit of that introspection. So this is meant to stimulate your thought process on lifestyle. Also, we want you to be around for a lifetime of Krishna consciousness, because it's a good thing, you know, this Krishna consciousness, and we want you to be around for your whole life, for your whole productive life. And that means you should live a healthy life. I've seen too many people who just burned and crashed, and it's not good. Don't burn yourself out. Yes, there are marathons. Yes, there are certain crunch times when we have to just perform, but don't live life just in marathon, you know, in sprint mode. It's a lifetime project. So find your balance, and in this way you'll be also more mellow, more sweet. Because you may have noticed that amongst brahmacharis, this whole, yeah, we're the guys, rah, rah, you know, is really cool. But the congregation can't really handle it. Have you noticed? They can't handle it. They can't deal with it. They can't appreciate it. So be tough with yourself, but be kind and compassionate and generous with others. And people will relate. They will resonate better. And that also means, and I'm going to take this now, it's meant to be later, but I'm going to take it now because some are leaving, and this is really important stuff, that there has to be upward mobility, which means people who need a change of service, you have to facilitate that. People who need a change of ashram, you have to be able to facilitate that. Is that okay with you? Is that okay with you? Now some people say, Srila Radhanath Swami says everybody can get married, but what he really means is everybody has to stay a brahmachari. Have you heard this? Have you heard this? Huh? And I've personally walked and talked with him on many occasions, and he has told me personally that this is the biggest lie somebody can say. That you say Gurudev or this sadhu or this person says this, but what he actually means is what I'm going to say you now, and then you give your purport, your Mahavakya, you know. So we have to be careful in the name of service not to do disservice. Because sometimes it's easy to give a bad name even to your guru by being fanatical, extremist, etc. Some people need to get married, and we should help them to get married. Some people need to stay brahmacharis. So it's case by case. I'm talking to you not as brahmacharis, I'm talking to you as leaders. There's 4 ashrams. Choose any one of them and be happy in Krishna consciousness, okay? Because sometimes we see that a brahmachari is not happy for a very long time, and then he turns into a brahmastra. You've heard of brahmastras? Yeah? And some explode and some implode, you know? They have like high combustion, you know, like they just... Or sometimes they open the window and they throw the big bee out the window and then they jump behind it. Some just disappear into the night and they're never seen again. And that really hurts a lot. Prabhupada said if somebody leaves, 50% is our fault. 50% is our fault. So have upward mobility. Discuss with your team regularly if they need a change of service. Discuss also with your brahmacharis. Are you comfortable? Is things working for you? Sometimes they need to go to another center. They need to go on traveling. Have some variety, you know. People need some excitement, something. Not just same. Huh? There are different mentalities of people. So those are important things to consider, and that's why I'm addressing it now. And you have quite some notes on this also in your student handbook. It's also understood that, you don't have to open it up, It's also understood that initially people come into the organization, they're brahmacharis, they're trainees, they're book distributors, they do what they're told. And after some time, you can see they have more potential than that. They want to specialize, they want to do other things. So facilitate that. Don't obstruct that. Facilitate their development. Okay? So in this way, people can develop, they can flourish, and they will actually be happy. Oh yeah, I like to go out once a week. Yes, I like to go out in the marathons. Yes. Do you like marathons? That doesn't sound very convincing. You see, sometimes you do a good thing, but you overdo it. Sometimes you do a good thing, but you overdo it, and then you start hating it. We had 5 marathons every year. Gaur Purnima Marathon, Chaturdasi Marathon, Guru Marathon, Summer Marathon, and Prabhupada Marathon, which was known as Christmas Marathon. We were on marathon all year round, pretty much. And some people, it was just too much for them. They couldn't handle it. They just left. They developed an aversity. You know, they became averse because it was too much, tension was too much. So as a leader, we have to balance things. Prabhupada said, always make sure people have a fresh challenge. Always create a fresh challenge for people. Don't just ride them till they're done. And naturally, it's understood also that some, believe it or not, they will become temple presidents. Some, they will become leaders in their own right. Is that a good thing? Yes, absolutely. That's a good thing. So don't try to push people and keep them down, because it's not a good way how to manage. Rather encourage them, build them up, and empower them. And you will see that people will really love you, things will expand, and you will have more time for doing the things that only you can do. You should be doing only the things that only you can do. Everything else, find other people to do it. Okay? Prabhupada only did everything in the beginning. When people started taking on roles and tasks, then Prabhupada mostly did what only Prabhupada could do. And even that, he trained others in doing it. He sat there while his disciples were giving class. He sat there while they were managing the GBC. Because he knew, I'm only here for a short time. Leadership is what happens when you're not there. You remember that one? You already wrote that one down, right? Leadership is what happens when you're not there. Damodar has got teams in Mumbai and in Bangalore and in New York and San Francisco and Tokyo, and I'm just joking. But he's got teams. And the teams are working, but he's here having fun with the kids, right? Because that's what you have to do. Every now and then, you actually got to have fun. Because if you don't have fun, you're not going to be doing it for very long. Okay? Don't just try to become a senior, serious devotee. Just because of old age doesn't mean maturity, you know? Only cheese ripens with old age and gets mature. People need sadhu sangha, they need inspiration, they need a break, they need some time off sometimes. So take time off every day for some time, take some time off. Are you going for your walks? Are you connecting with nature? Are you doing that? I see some of you are doing it. You're actually out there on the grass. I like it. It feels good, right? You walk on grass? Because right now I'm walking on oil. This is not a carpet. This is actually petroleum. Do you know that? Most of the stuff, this is all synthetic. It's made from oil, okay? When you actually walk on grass or on the earth, it's actually nice. You know, you connect. Especially you have so much tension, there's so much vata in the job of management that you need to connect with nature. Make sure you have a healthy work-life balance. So take time off every day, take some time off every week, and then have regular retreats. If you don't take a break, you will break. I guarantee you. I speak from experience. I was at the bright old age of 30. I was almost in a wheelchair. Now I'm 55. Because we carried books like this. You know, like when you're loading vans, or we were carrying books like this like 10, 12 hours a day. And at some point, there is limitations to every machine. Structural problems start to arise. So you have to be aware of that. Don't try to be a dead hero. We have enough dead heroes. Huh? So you need to be alive. Mukti Padesa Dayabak. You know Dayabak? The law of inheritance. What do you have to do in order to inherit? You have to stay alive. Huh? So stay alive in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise you won't inherit. Okay? So, and alive doesn't just mean, hey, I'm breathing, but you have to be vibrant. Vibrancy. The people take one look at you and they will say, I want to be like you. Did I tell you the story of the kid with the mask in Berkeley? No? I was distributing books on Telegraph Avenue just in front of the... Oh, I told it in camp, I believe, right? You were there. And one young boy, he said, you already asked me yesterday. And I said, how do I know? You're wearing a mask. You know, you mask people look all the same. So he pulled down the mask. He had a big beard. Not like a beard like you, like I'm lazy to shave, or, you know, I'm a sadhu, or it's Chaturmasya, but a big beard. And he said, I'm a Muslim, but you're glowing. I want what you have. And I said, well, here, take it. And he took the Gita, and he gave a donation. The only question on people's minds should be, how can I be like you? Now, often they won't say that because it's a little, you know, they're a little shy, and it's not such a cool thing to say, I want to be like you. But that's what they mean. Huh? But that means that we have to actually be of integrity. We have to lead by example. We have to walk the talk. Then people will naturally resonate. They will naturally want to spend time with you. They will naturally want to be of service and help you. Huh? And then we should be not too ambitious. You know, curiosity killed the monkey. You know the story of the monkey? He found that wedge in the tree, and he started monkeying around with that wedge. And all of a sudden, that wedge came out, and boom, monkey was dead. Huh? Ambition killed the sadhu. Yes, you can be competitive. Yes, you can be ambitious for Krishna. But be aware that ambition killed the sadhu. If you're overly ambitious to do big things fast, then it can kill you. Huh? It can kill you. Plenty of examples and role models, but we're not going to get into history. But ambition killed the sadhu. Krishna has a plan. Be happy to cooperate with Krishna's plan. Prabhupada was happy to start small. He had a big plan. He had a big vision. He wanted to spread Krishna consciousness everywhere at once. But he was there with Sally and Gopal Agarwal, you know, walking from the YMCA and cooking for them and playing with the kids and doing his laundry and giving a talk at some little community college. Prabhupada was happy doing these things. Are you happy to do little things for Krishna? Are you happy to do little things for Krishna? Or can he only do big things? Big things are not always possible every day of the week. Big pandal in Delhi, big pandal in Mumbai. Every now and then it happens. Yes, that's nice. But we have to be happy doing whatever we're doing for Krishna. Tesham satata yuktanam bachatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhiyogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Who knows what the last paragraph of the purport says? Who remembers? Come on, Shruti Daras, photographic memory. Who knows the translation of the verse? 10:10. 10:10, Bhakti Shastri. This is it, crunch time. Translation. Microphone in the front. 10:10.
Yes, one who is constantly engaged in the loving service of the loving service to Krishna. Krishna gives the intelligence how to come back to him.
How to attain him, yes. What is the last paragraph of the purport? Srila Prabhupada writes, you may be in a spiritual movement. You may have a spiritual master. Yet, you still do not know the goal of life. Who is he talking about? About him? About her? He's talking about me. He's talking about me. Huh? Yet, if you do whatever you do with love to please Krishna, then Krishna in your heart will give you the intelligence by which you can attain him. That's pretty nice, right? A person may have a bona fide spiritual master, may be attached to a spiritual organization, but if he's still not intelligent enough to make progress, then Krishna from within gives him instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. The qualification is that a person always engage himself in Krishna consciousness, with love and devotion render all kinds of services. He should perform some sort of work for Krishna, and that should be with love. If the devotee is not intelligent enough to make progress in the path of self-realization, but is sincere and devoted to the activities of devotional service, the Lord gives him a chance to make progress and ultimately attain to him. I rest my case. That's why we should distribute these books. That's why we should read and study these books. Somebody reads this paragraph, wow. I mean, this is cosmogonal, right? This is like, you can chew on this for a lifetime. This is deep stuff. Huh? Anybody can resonate with that. Huh? So, have regular meetings with your team and pour out the nectar that's in your heart. That's what we do at ISV, right? Vaisheshika Prabhu comes and he just pours out the nectar that he read and experienced in his bhajan. And people are just like, whoa, this is getting better and better. Whoa, yes, I would like to follow this person. Because this person is juiced up. This person is blissful. So, please, have regular meetings, not like, okay, meetings, who's going to do what? Not those type of meetings. That can be done also. But it's called satsang, you know? Truthful association, sincere association. And you share your heart, your realization of Krishna consciousness, of what you read, what you experienced, all the nectar that you have received, and you share that with your team. And people will just want more of that. People will just like, hey man, can we hang out together? Like, you know, like can we do this every day? Huh? That is what is required. That is how you build teams. Huh? Community means what we have in common. What are our common interests? What do we agree upon? Now here we have the All-Star India team. And there's different tastes and different varieties, different masala, different flavors, because people are people. But we have core values that we very much agree upon, that we very much share. So you relate on those levels, and then the diversity. Is diversity a problem? Is diversity a problem? No. Diversity is not a problem because variety is the mother of enjoyment. As long as there is unity. That's the last topic. Prabhupada, for today. Prabhupada asked his leaders to go to Mayapur once a year and discuss for 2 weeks one topic. What is that topic? Unity and diversity. There's so much diversity. You can't change it. You can just appreciate it. It's the way how Krishna made us and the world. He likes diversity. Have you noticed? The amount of flowers, the amount of colors, of dresses, of Krishna likes it. Otherwise, why is there not only one rasa? Why are there 5 primary and secondary? Because Krishna likes variety. That's how Krishna likes it. Huh? So, variety is part of his creation. That's part of his nature. He's Rasaraj. He's Rasa Vigraha. He's the one who is the embodiment of all rasas. Yet there has to be unity, just like in competition. Are the gopis competitive? They're highly competitive. There's different camps, there's different leaders, there's different yutas, there's different things going on. It's very competitive. But they have one common interest: how to please Krishna, how to give more joy, more pleasure to Krishna. And when Krishna disappears, before they were fighting against each other, there was conspiracies and different types of things going on, but when Krishna disappears, they all get together. They all join hands. Where's Krishna? How we can get Krishna back? How do they get Krishna back? How do they get Krishna back? They talk about Krishna. They enact Krishna's pastimes. They remember Krishna. They sing about Krishna. And all of a sudden, Krishna's back. He just came back. Because he realized, okay, they changed their mentality, they changed their mindset. I can come back now. Huh? Krishna does not like his devotees to be proud. Have you noticed? Have you noticed? Okay, as a leader, safeguard against this. Please, write it down. Pride comes before the fall. We speak from personal experience. Everybody has their 5 minutes of fame. You can write that down also. You get your 5 minutes of fame. I got mine in 1991. I was 23 years old. I was #1 in the world in book distribution. I became the minister of book distribution. I was sitting with the big guys, and we thought we had it figured out. And it was a good decade. Till 1998, the earth shook. And there was earthquake. Huh? And the dust has still not fully settled. So, you'll get your 5 minutes of fame. I got mine very early when I was 23. That's 32 years ago. So don't worry about your 5 minutes of fame. Worry about what happens after that. Huh? Is there a life after fame? In bhakti? Yes? Is it a good life? Yes, absolutely. So, be nice to the people on the way up, because they're the same people that you're going to meet on the way down. Okay? You can write that down. Be nice to the people on the way up, because there's the same people that you're going to meet on the way down. I've been on the top, I've been on the bottom, I've been all around. Krishna has mercifully given me everything, taken everything away, kicked me around. That's why we love Krishna, because Krishna is not predictable. Have you noticed how so many people are predictable in this world? But Krishna is very unpredictable, because he likes that suspense. He likes that moment of uncertainty, because that's where he draws out. That's where he draws out that little bit of extra love, that little bit of surrender. So unity in diversity, how do you create unity and diversity in your communities? Give me some help here. How would you create unity and diversity in your communities? I want to hear from people who have not spoken yet. In the back, unity and diversity, microphone is right in front of you. How are you going to accomplish this? You're a leader. Reflections. I'm not going to do the talking. Please.
We should allow their intelligence or their, whatever they have positivity in them in the service of the Lord. So if somebody is good singer, let him sing for Lord. Somebody is good painter, let him paint for the Lord. So keep Krishna consciousness in center, but their abilities can be doubted to please Krishna.
Wonderful. So that means you don't want to make everybody like you?
No, whatever they are there, that can be engaged in Lord's service. That will be better.
But I want to make everybody a brahmachari. They should all be book distributors. Everybody has to do what I'm doing. Have you heard this before? Have you heard this before? Does it work? Then stop doing it. I was with, with Fridananda Maharaj in North Carolina, and he told me exactly what he wanted me to do. And he had done that previous times, many times. He said where in Brazil I should open preaching center and all that. And at the end he said, and you know what, Navina? If you would actually go and do it, you would be the first person who ever did what I told him to do. And then we both laughed. I was tempted to say, Maharaj, then why do you keep telling people to do things that you know that they're not going to do? And I know his answer would be, I can't help it. I'm a general. I just have these ideas and I want to direct people. You know, people are people. That means you have to ask them, what would you like to do for Krishna? I know you're brahmacharis, you're used to being told. But after 5 or 7 years, believe it or not, no one's going to tell you what to do. Have you noticed? No one's going to tell you what to do. If you know what to do, that's good. But if you never learned, then that's not good. That's scary. So get used to the idea that people have ideas, that they have plans, that they have desires. And as you were saying, let him paint for Krishna. Let him cook for Krishna. Let him do flower garlands. Let him preach. Let him distribute books. And then, believe it or not, they will also be willing to do the needful and to do a few other things and jump in and do a little bit of that extra sacrifice. You know George Harrison? The guy with the guitar, you know, My Sweet Love? Donated for Krishna book, donated the manor. He wanted to join. He wanted to go full time. Prabhupada said, stick to your guitar. Stane stita shrutikatam tanuvan manobir. You stay on your level and you serve Krishna in that way. You'll reach the whole world. Devotee said, but don't you want to initiate him? He said, his name is Hari's son. Hari's son. He's already initiated. He already has a name. He's the son of Hari. Huh? Prabhupada recognized he's a musician. That's his talent. Let him do that. Yes, some should shave up and join and go full time. Huh? But others, they should do other things. Your job as a leader to recognize talent, to see situation case by case. It's not one shoe size fits all. Huh? The more you're capable of doing that discernment, the more you will have a successful operation. What else are you, thank you. What else are you going to do in order to create unity and diversity? I mean, Prabhupada gave this as a standing theme. He said, this is the topic I want you guys to discuss for 2 weeks. It's pretty amazing, right? To the top elite managers, he said, this is what you have to discuss. Yes.
Pujit, 2 things I found very helpful practically in this regard. One is, have people realize the value of interdependence, you know, by their own experiences. Sometimes people experience, but they don't translate it in their life. So help them translate the need and the value of how much value they can add by being with each other. This is one thing. They're complementary, they're supplementary in their existence. Second thing,
Did you get that? Interdependence. Write down interdependence. Means they need you and you need them. It's interdependence. Not codependence, interdependent. And the second thing?
And second thing, Prabhuji, it's vice versa. Like if someone is not there, not available, and then we can also see how much, what we are missing when that person is not there. So when the person is there, we see his value, what he brings to the table. When he's not there, we also see what all we could have done or how much difficult it became.
Okay, thank you.
Keep Krishna Katha in the center, so that brings people together because they can appreciate each other.
Thank you. Keep Krishna Katha in the center. If you keep Krishna Katha in the center, people will resonate. People are looking for a consistent message. Have you noticed? People want a consistent message. Why are they going to fast food? Because it always tastes the same. people want consistency. You want consistency in relationships. We want consistency in business, because otherwise we get confused and it gets very unproductive and distractive. So keep a consistent Krishna Katha in the center, and people will continuously come for that experience. Yes.
Honoring and serving prasadam together.
Honoring and serving prasadam together. Yes, very important. Wonderful point. One in the back, one over here, behind you. Yeah.
I feel that
Haribol, Prabhu. Here, Prabhu. Can you give the mic? Yeah.
Most important thing which I feel is appreciating their individual likings, where it gives a sense of diversity, because that's the first important thing that most of the times people don't feel that they appreciated what they're doing.
They think I'm just a number. I'm expendable, right? I'm not even here. You know, I'm just taking up oxygen and floor space. And then people just leave. They just go somewhere else. Remember liability and asset? We want to be seen as an asset and treated as an asset. If we're treated as a liability or we're ignored, then we go somewhere where we appreciate it. It's natural.
I just wanted to quote an example of my own life, that we were three brothers, and my father was principal, and my two brothers were always topper in the school, and I had my different inclinations towards sport. So my father, being a principal, he had never forced me that I should be like them, but he had told my two elder brothers that you should never make him feel that he's not up to your mark. So let him grow in his own way.
Nice.
So this I came to know later on, after many years. My brothers told me.
But you felt it. You felt it by the way how your father
Yeah.
was dealing with you three.
Yes. Yes.
He didn't. Very nice. Yes, keep going. Just keep moving the mics around here.
Encouraging the attitude of service rather than the result and the type of service.
Attitude of service rather than result means be more process service oriented rather than be result oriented. Sometimes we only recognize result. And honestly speaking, I love Sankirtan scores, but I want to hear team scores. At ISV in California, we only do team scores. Oh, Bhakta Joshi, one Bhagavad Gita, and Bhaktin, Triti, 3 medium books. Ki Jai, Haribol. We want to hear what the team did. Just make team scores. It's easier, it's faster, and it builds more that team spirit. So be more process oriented rather than goal oriented. You had some other point? I cut you.
Yes, and the same thing when we encourage and when we appreciate the attitude of service. If somebody is working hard, although he is getting lesser results, so that person should be given credit, so that others who are getting good results also but serving with bad attitude, they also they are also encouraged to learn nice attitude.
Thank you. Everybody encouraged, everybody appreciated. Yes and yes. One mic in the front.
Environment of opportunity to where people can share their secret success.
So give people the opportunity to share their success. So give them the opportunity to communicate with others. Don't monopolize. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Getting leaders across the different communities, like we have the culture in ISKCON Pune, His Grace Radhesham Prabhu brings in leaders from many parts of the world and many places to come, so that the people are exposed to variety, their exposure.
Exposure, yes. Very important. Have you heard of cross-pollination? Do you know what cross-pollination is? That's what we're doing right now here. This is called cross-pollination. Because if you only have hybrids, you know what a hybrid is? Do you ever had a papaya who is really big but there is no taste in it?
Yes.
You ever have bananas who are really big but there's really no flavor?
Yes.
Welcome to Monsanto, Ki Jai, right? Huh? It's just for profit. You can see, it's just for profit. There's no real Ras there. So we're not trying to go that route. So that means we need cross-pollination. Variety is the mother of enjoyment. Otherwise, there's no rasa. Yes. Go ahead. You got the mic. We need one mic in the back.
when the people in our team were individually valued for whatever the contribution they have and encouraged to contribute more and given opportunities to contribute more, that's where the team is going to actually build in their own area. They have their own strength, their own weakness, and given opportunities and given encouragement to do what they want to offer to Krishna. Ultimately, well, I have a question. You said that we have to announce this course as a team. Like I also experienced both individual names and team scores are appreciated. But when I appreciate the only team, but we lose that. It looks impersonal. It doesn't.
No,
Given the
it
name.
doesn't look impersonal because everybody understands we're all part of the same team. Otherwise, it's a little impersonal because it's always the same few people who have been out and done a few books, and everybody else feels, okay, it's them, it's their job, they're doing it. We got a few book distributors, they're taking care of it. But we want to foster the attitude where the congregation feels we're part of the team. This is our mission. We own this. We have to make this happen. You know how many temples in the world are thinking we just want to import a few brahmacharis from India and they will just figure it out. They'll just do it. Huh? Many. You know, like they hire Bengali cooks, you know, and they just ship them out. I was community chairman in Mayapur, and I was on the MAC as a non-voting member, so anything that happened, it wasn't my fault. I was not voting. And, you know, yeah, we have to send cooks, and we have to send pujaris, and how much will they get paid, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, if these yatras are not able to grow their own community, their own people, have their own cooks and pujaris, it's not sustainable to send people from here to there. Yeah, we can send preachers. That's good. That's fine. But then their job is to grow the local congregation. Otherwise, they have failed. Huh? So that's why we want to create that team spirit. I'm not saying don't do individual scores, but I'm saying try it out for a while and have team score and see what it does. I guarantee you it will be a good experience.
I experienced that also, but they announce us team names like this table, that table, or something like that. Then that doesn't give any rasa because people keep changing there also. There's no team there actually.
At the end of the day, you know, who cares whether you scored a century? People want to know whether the team won. That's what counts. The team has to win. Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtana. Team. I'm not saying change it. I'm just saying try it out. If it works for you, fine. Like when I was a young bhakta back in the day, when I was a young kid, in Heidelberg, Germany, they had a rule that number one in the week gets a big cake. After 5 weeks, they changed that. They stopped because Bhakta Nico, me, was number one for 5 weeks. So they stopped giving cake. The first week I ate the whole cake, you know. I thought, hey, this is great. I love this. Then next week, too much sugar. I started sharing with others. Third week, I didn't even want to see the cake, you know. I was not interested. Because ki jai, you know, Monday morning, nobody knows that you've been a hero and you've done glorious things. Did you notice people don't really care? They don't really pay attention that you're such a great, glorious person. And so get over it. So this whole thing can be overdone, you know, it becomes a bit redundant. Have you ever heard the saying, insult by faint praise? You can insult a person by just so-called praising them. So be careful. Like sometimes you read these bios, you know bio, short bio, and then they go on for like 12 minutes, just embarrassing the person or insulting them. Huh? You understand? So you have to know the sensibilities. You have to be a little sensitive. So try it out. If it works for you, fine. If something else works, do it differently. It's a detail. As long as it is encouraging the team and not just the one person who made the most
I think
score.
we can take the names in the team, but not the individual score. Like in this team, these devotees are there,
Yes,
but do not
such and such, they all went out, and this is their team score.
not individual. Yeah.
Okay, and we found the solution. Thank you. What else?
Taking care of the spiritual need, whether the person is spiritually growing or not, because the connecting link is Krishna only. If one is connecting to Krishna, he will resonate with everyone. So seeing the spiritual growth, as a leader, it is a responsibility of the leader to how the team is united. So how much one is getting connected to Krishna.
Thank you. Very nice. Yeah, people really resonate with that when they feel that somebody is really interested in my spiritual growth, in my development. You know, that's massive. That's substantial. They really develop what is the last topic for today I wanted to speak about, because 4 people are leaving on a train. Your ability to be a leader really boils down to this. When people feel that they feel the love and trust, they feel I can trust you, and I love working together with you, you have succeeded. If you got there, you've done it. But it's not an easy job, and it's not a once and then that's it, you're there, you arrived. It's a daily commitment. It's a daily commitment. As I've mentioned, Prabhupada's heart was open. He was unconditionally loving. At the same time, he was completely detached. Every day his door was open for 2 hours. Anybody could come and ask him questions. Can people come and talk to you? Can people come and talk to you? Yes. Okay, keep it that way. Don't think, oh, I'm a big guy now. I only talk to God. You know some people like that, right? They only talk to God. Unfortunately, they don't listen very well. They talk a lot, but they don't listen very well. Huh? So be open, available and accessible to your team, and people will feel that love and trust with you. It's really trust. We're here because people invested quality time, attention, and affection in us. We're here because of the sacrifice, the prayers, and the tears of our ancestors, spiritually and materially. And because of their constant affection that is dripping on our head, that's why we've grown. That's why we flourished. So you want to see your Bhakti garden flourish, your community flourish, you do the same. You extend that affection, that attention, that care, that service attitude to the people of your team. Huh? I was very fortunate because I joined very young. I was 15. And I had older brothers. All my godbrothers were 7 to 10 years older than me. I had a lot of older brothers and older sisters. I felt sheltered. I felt taken care of. It was rough. It was rough. We didn't get trained. We didn't have BT, VT, XYZ. We didn't have all these programs. It was just go, run, shoot. Yeah, we ran and we shot, but we also got hit. We also took a lot of hits. So, and we're here today because the good always overweighs all the other experiences. And we know this is substantial. Yet we should try to somehow not just create systems, but create a culture. Devotee care is not a department. It's not a t-shirt. It's not a free diary. It's a culture. Then you know, like I saw when I came in here, and somebody had left a tiffin with prasadam in my room. I hadn't ordered it. I hadn't told anybody, but somebody thought, yeah, you know, this guy, he traveled here and he comes here and, so, you know what I mean? Things like that. So, people are people. Everyone is sensitive, just in a different part of their body, So, but everybody is sensitive in their own way. When they see, why did I sign up after being through all what I've been through? Why did I sign up with more mentors and guides and Shiksha gurus, and why did I take initiation again? Because I feel there are people who care for me. There are people who want me to be here. People who are ready to hear me out. That's why. So, we have unlimited opportunity for service. But it all starts with Shravanam. And that means, yes, hearing japa, hearing Krishna Katha, but also hearing devotees. I've seen that in the last few years, my primary service is to just hear other devotees. You remember the last time somebody heard you out without interrupting you, without judging you, without telling you what to do? They just heard you out, attentively, fully there. You remember when was the last time? You have to think hard, right? It's memorable. It can captivate your heart. I'm just reading second canto, and you know there's this person called Maharaj Parikshit. Have you heard of him? And Shukadeva Goswami, this naked kid, he's 16 years old. You know, he just came out of the forest. Nobody knew who he was. But he just sat down and talked to the king. And they have this questions and answers thing going, you know. And it's really amazing. And there are all these sages, there are all these big shots there, you know. There is his dad is there, Vyasadeva, and his guru is there, Narad Muni, and everybody's there. The who's who is there. The whole VIP gala is there. But who talks to the king? 16-year-old naked kid who came from the forest. And everybody was happy that he was talking to the king and that he was sharing the message of Krishna consciousness with him. So if we learn the art of hearing each other out, of rejoicing in other people's success, not trying to push them down, but to actually, I'm here because I stood on the shoulder of giants. I had all the God brothers. I had uncles who took care of me. I had people who wanted me to flourish and succeed. I was just a regular kid who was addicted to sports. And then somehow my competitiveness, my focus shifted to book distribution, and somehow a new trajectory, some new opportunity opened up. Krishna tricked me. The only good thing I've ever done in my life, I worked on farms in the summer. You know, we have this work program where you go for a month, you stay on a farm and you take care of cows or whatever farming they do. So I was feeding cows and you know, milking and cleaning and all that. That's the only good thing I've ever done as a kid. And I think maybe, perhaps Krishna took note of that and he said, okay, he's a good kid, you know, he's doing something for my cows. All right, okay. So, see the potential in everybody. Prabhupada treated every person who walked through the door as a future leader of the Hare Krishna movement. You know what happened? They became the future leaders of the Hare Krishna movement. There was some pretty interesting character who walked through the door. You know, like this morning, there was one guy with a lot of big hair. You remember him? Those boys who were standing there in the middle? One guy had a lot of hair. Huh? Like hippies. They asked Prabhupada, what is a hippie? Prabhupada said, something very extraordinary. He made big eyes. There was really amazing people who came. And they were addicted, and they were intoxicated, and they were argumentative, and they were crazy. But Prabhupada saw the potential. And he fanned that spark. And Krishna consciousness took over. And they did wonderful things. Yes, as far as leadership training goes, Prabhupada said none of you were qualified, but I needed leaders. So what do you do in wartime? You line everybody up and you say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, you're a commander. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're a colonel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're a general. He said, I know they're not qualified. It was a calculated risk. But Prabhupada knew that the good will outweigh the danger. And this is the wrap-up of the morning session. Allow people to make their own mistakes. You can write that down. Not suicidal mistakes, but allow them to make their own mistakes. It's important. Otherwise, they'll never grow strong. So you have to allow them, give them space so they can start doing things, even do things their own way. Don't give them enough rope so they can go and hang themselves, but give them space so they can grow. There's many different ways how you can do things. What I'm trying to explain is, or communicate is, don't be oppressive. Don't try to control OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. Control every single detail of your operation. You won't really be doing big things. You have to give people space and let them come up with their own ideas, their own plans. Damodar, can you give a 5-minute synopsis of what you would like to see and what you would like these guys to do? Because these are our future leaders of ISKCON India. And Damodar he has built teams for all major corporations. He has done what we're trying to do here on the corporate level, and he's very successful. So you got the floor.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
I said what I needed to say, but we got 7 minutes here to wrap up.
At your service, Prabhu. Thank you so much. बोला जाता है हिंदी में एक और एक 11. Yeah. तो जब भी whenever the friction, and there is another concept in physics called static friction is more than rolling friction. Yeah. So whenever you all leaders, it's expected that there is war against Maya, and you are the general who is taking the torch for Srila Prabhupada and fighting that war. Correct? And two things to recognize whenever there is oppression or wherever there is friction. One is when you are going from 0 to 1. What it means is जब भी कोई चीज आप स्टार्ट कर रहे हो, जो शिला प्रभुपाद के शुरू के दिनों में हुआ, कहीं भी आप दूसरी जगह जा रहे हो, तो सबसे ज्यादा जो एनर्जी लगती है, जिसमें आउटकम्स नहीं आते हैं immediately. You do not get positive signs that things are moving, but the energy and dedication and the efforts are disproportionately there compared with the result. You have to tell yourself not to get discouraged. Results is not always proportion to the effort involved. So as a leader, we need to understand the growth comes between 0 to 1. 1 to 10, your -1, your community can take care of it. Then the next growth comes from when you are going for 100x. Yeah. So if you have 10 Shrimad Bhagavatam going on in a year, and then you sign up for 1000 Shrimad Bhagavatam in a year. Correct? That's where again mature leaders are required like you. So ensure you are able to balance between 0 to 1 journey and a 100x journey. Where many times people are, if they get into 0 to 1, then from 1 to 10 is a smooth flow. Correct? Your team can do it without you, no problem. But at that point of time, if you're not thinking for the 100x moonshot, then again, there will be a lull in the planning part of it, and execution part of it. So you all are, much qualified than me. I am a grahastha, very low, thank you so much for what you are doing, signing up for your life for Srila Prabhupada. One of my requests, what I learned from management is as Prabhu mentioned, making yourself redundant, servant leadership. These are very good traits. When you see people getting better than you, instead of getting envious, if you start becoming empowering, then the outcome which comes is huge. You go from good to great. But when the people start obstructing the growth, and then what will happen is, if you look at it, we are now moving from generation 1, which directly hurt Srila Prabhupada, correct? That's going away very fast. Yeah. And the generation 2, like Prabhu and few of leaders, senior leaders and us predominantly, and we are almost on the second or the third generation. We have seen some of the level 1 generation, first generation, and we are seeing the peers. We have to quickly absorb the mood of Srila Prabhupada. Because when the third generation comes, the person or the leaders who are in touch with Srila Prabhupada, so the books are there. I'm not discounting on the Vani and the Vap, those items. I'm taking the principles and then how we have to assimilate and work together. As Prabhu was having a conversation, we had almost like a 1.5 hours of walking on a glass. Prabhu was very concerned about the succession plan. And he was mentioning, which struck with me, that we are going through a Sandhya time. And the Sandhya time is always a cusp where, the changeover happens. It's very important that when the relay race is happening and the baton has to be passed, if you pass it in a very efficient way, the second runner goes very fast. I think the excellence of ISKCON compared to the failure of Gaudiya Mutt has been that instead of an individual where two people came in saying, I am the successor, ISKCON, despite so many issues which has happened after Srila Prabhupada, still has thrived and survived is because institutional backing came in. And that was predominantly because of certain rules, structures which Srila Prabhupada has mentioned. And we have to educate ourselves with those parts. We have to learn Shastras. We have to learn what our senior leaders are saying and internally internalize. It's very important when next time it is happening, if there is a competition coming in, oh my God, he's trying to be faster and sharper than me. How do I get ahead? I think with this new learning which we have, if we can reflect internally and then say, no, this devotee's victory is my victory. How can I serve? Whenever we are going to our deities for morning darshan, praying, japa, if we can get into the mood of how can I serve better? How can I be used with whatever things? And then when we are asking, I think that's what I have done. Vaisheshika Prabhu says one thing, it's not important who you are. It is important with who you are. And that's one of the mantra I have followed. I follow the footsteps of Prabhu wherever Prabhu is there. I follow Vaisheshika Prabhu wherever he is. And things just happen. And do what you hear. I think as Prabhu said, putting those things in your ear and then executing and removing the I part and then have it's more of a jargon. Illness, if you remove I with the W, it becomes wellness. Correct? So I, me, these are all, time is limited. And you know what time has? I and me. If you remove T, so we will get exhausted, if we do not change this with a collaborative path. I think biggest part Srila Prabhupada left for us, for especially supporting GBC and working together, was that the spirit of cooperation. He said, you will please me by the spirit of your cooperation. So I think that has to go inside and see, am I cooperating with the fellow devotees around me? Or am I too competitive? I think these are self-reflection, and such kind of sessions actually are the 0 to 1 stages. So take that in mind whenever the projects are. Spend yourself, make yourself available for 0 to 1 and for 100x. And don't get compromised on 0 from 1 to 10. That is anyway going to happen. Thank you so much. I pray for your best wishes and prayers for us to do together and be the winning team for Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Prabhupada. Okay, Prabhupada. The last one. Develop this institution. Sound.
I was wandering in the street and some people saw me and gradually they came to me. And actually I did not try anything for developing this institution.
So you see a lot of diversity, but you see the unity also. Very powerful concept. So we've given you in a nutshell the leadership part. There's 3 types of power. One is coercive power, which means you force people. The other one is expedient power. You give incentive, you put the carrot there or the money. And the highest motivating factor is bhakti, pure love. You give people the opportunity to love and be loved by Krishna. And that is unlimited. That is unlimited. That's what Prabhupada came to give us. Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. We'll continue this afternoon. We're going to speak about follow-up, how to actually harvest the fruits of all of our preaching in our book Distribution. How to make devotees, how to retain devotees, how to build teams. That's the topic of this afternoon session. We crammed a little bit this morning because 4 people are leaving, and we thank you for your kind attendance. May you be successful and powerful in what you do. For who? Okay, for those who are going now, we got small gift. Okay, you can get that later here. And for the others, we'll see you back here at 2:59 for the last session of today. And tomorrow, and then this evening, we have Harinam and books at 6 o'clock to 7:30. We have a little fun outing, a little party. And tomorrow is going to be short and sweet. We're just going to do the morning session because some more people are leaving in the afternoon. So if we can start at 10, that'd be great. I don't know, does that work for you, or you prefer 10:30? Huh? 10 is too early. Okay, but please be there so we can start 10:30 sharp, okay? And we'll finish everything in the morning session. But we need your full cooperation and participation. Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhaktavinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Please come take prasadam. Haribol.